The internet tells us in a whole wide spectrum of videos, reels, shorts, books, warning lists, how red flags look like. But what if I told you that your red flags are not my red flags, and that this is the whole point of attraction? Hi, my name is ALTY and welcome to the safe space, the Respec Guild, where we talk about life and games and how beautifully they intertwine together. And what better game to use as an example if not Baldur's Gate 3? Look at her wonderful companions. Let's take Shadowheart. My first interaction with her. Something the matter. The voice, the hair, the style, the mannerism. It's like, in the heart, straight. This spark. But we're only at the beginning of the story, and I don't know their secrets. I don't know their past yet. And yet, I'm already invested in them. I'm already hooked by some of their words, some of their mystery behind it. Today I would like to talk to you about why we choose these flaws or red flags that we choose, and how a game like Baldur's Gate 3 or any other wonderful story game is a perfect mirror for our real-life hearts. Luckily, this is still a game, and we can safely experiment and try out so that in real life, we don't risk our heart to fall into these dangerous patterns. Go ahead, fall in love with the, let's say, stubborn, aggressive, goal-focused Lae'zel, or sure, let our wonderful friend here, Astorian, suck out all your blood at night, or you can even make out with the Mind Flayer as I did in the beginning of the campaign. You can safely experience the game over screen here. You don't have to worry about your heart being shattered in a million pieces. Well, technically you can if you're very invested into the characters, much I am into Astarion as well. My heart would get shattered if he betrays me again, true. But it is safer to do it here and learn from the experiences. And it can perfectly be that these so-called red flags are not red flags for you specifically. My opinion on the matter is that all these red flags are pure subjective. It's somebody else's opinion. Sure, Astorian nibbled a little bit too much on my neck the very first time, and I saw it as a red flag, but my opinion, as I said, changed slightly, and I gave him a second chance. I allow him to nibble a little bit more. Hopefully this time he won't kill me. So the truth of the matter is, every one of them, of us, of everyone on planet Earth, we have Astarion, Shadowheart, we have Gale, everyone has flaws. And even with all of these flaws, red flags like the world calls them, you are simply perfect. You are perfect how you are, because those quirks or red flags or special traits make you you. Instead of one man's trash is another man's treasure, we can adapt it to one man's red flag is another man's home. A person that you see as a liar could actually be a very good protector of his own family. He can keep, for example, some family secrets safe, or he can make sure that no negative rumors spread about your family by doing a good lie. Not everything needs to be negatively based, negatively loaded.
Speak.
Speak is the best she can give me. So for me, personally, subjectively, Lae'zel is just too stubborn. She's too straightforward. She is just a little bit too much to handle for me. And I will not say red flags anymore. We should in generally stop saying red flags. Her personality trait is just too much for me to handle. I'm not suited to handle Lae'zel. But this guy, Gale. Now that's a different story for me personally. This one is such a smooth talker. He might feel a little bit not trustworthy now and then, so far in the story. And I might say that his red flag, which I'll just say his personality trait or characteristic, is that he's maybe a little bit untrustworthy, a little bit slippery. He makes you feel like the most important person in the room, but I understand why some people might see it as a little bit like a snake, a little bit slippery. This is why we can experiment in games, we can learn about them, we can try to recognize some patterns. Since everyone has flaws, as we call them, or red flags, that means perfect does not exist. Perfect exists subjectively. You need to find the person whose flaws are not flaws for you, whose red flags are green flags for you. Which is why Baldur's Gate is so amazing, to experiment all of these relationships interactions. You might be falling in love with these specific traits. Let's take for example Astarion. And Astarion is a vampire and he mesmerizes you, but it could be that this trait is just simply too toxic for you and it always ends up hurting or breaking your heart. You can perfectly experiment here. You can maybe learn, analyze yourself and discover that maybe you are a slow burner and you're actually for someone like Shadowheart, where you need a little bit more time, a little bit more secrecy and a little bit more investment into the relationships, and only then you start to spark and to bloom and your heart will never be hurt ever again. And it would be so much better if we learned to turn these flaws into our strengths. What if this one thing that the whole world is warning you about and you are avoiding it, while actually it could be that one thing that finally makes you feel safe in a relationship? If you're looking for a place to talk more about this, feel free to join the Respec Guild, trying to build a community for people who are willing to look into that mirror and start their Respec journey. We do not have to hide our red flags. We can simply work and make them our most powerful weapons. And now with all this knowledge that we have gathered about the red flags and the green flags and the traits, let's say in the future we find ourselves in front of another potential beautiful story or relationship. And we need to ask ourselves, how are we going to approach this? Do we just let the fire in our hearts burn wild? Or do we, so gently add a little bit wood by little bit and control the flame? Let me know in the comments. Thank you.